Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to another Huzzy Q&A. So a couple things to say is firstly, if the camera's a little bit weird, there should be TFT content or something on the screen right now, but I'm not having the light on. I'm recording this, probably I shouldn't be recording this, but I'm recording this on the hottest day in the year in the UK. We can start talking about temperature for the Q&A if we'd like, but right now it is 38.5 degrees Celsius here in the UK. And for a country that doesn't have air conditioning everywhere, I've got a portable one in my room that isn't great, but it's okay. And for having wall insulation that is 98% thickness, we're dead in the UK. There are like official health warnings out there for people. Keep hydrated, keep in the cool. And again, if there's an actual warning that happens in Britain very occasionally, that because we don't have AC or anything, if you're feeling really warm, what you're supposed to do is get in your car, because cars have AC. It's insane today, and it's the humidity. Like, I've been in hot temperature, like 45, 46 degrees Celsius, but it's the humidity here in the UK. It's awful. It just feels heavy. I'm sure we've all been in that. It's like, ugh. And then give it like 3 months or something, it'll be like -3. You'll be like, what? What's going on? Anyway, welcome to the Q&A. Sorry for the slight tangent, but I'm British. It's in our nature to complain about weather. We're going to do a Q&A. Generally these last about half an hour. I might make it last a bit longer because we've got a lot of questions. I gathered this mainly from the community tab on the YouTube channel, but I do have a couple on my phone that I saved from Snapchat last night. So we're just gonna get into it, and if my energy levels aren't the highest, yep. And if you can hear the air conditioning in the background, again, apologies. Right now in my room, I've got a thermostat over there. It's 32.5 degrees Celsius in my room. And AC is on. So, anyway, let's get into it. So the first one is, what recording equipment do I use, and what would I recommend for someone who wants to start doing YouTube videos? What recording equipment do I use? Well, yeah, I use fairly advanced equipment because this is my actual job. Any equipment that I get, I either get for free from sponsor stuff, or I buy it and then I can claim it on business expenses. I would never recommend, if you're just starting out, I would never recommend investing a crazy amount into a setup, because you don't need it. When I first started, my microphone was a rubbish gaming headset. It was a pretty bad gaming PC. And then when it started, I think I bought my first like good gaming PC when I earned it from my YouTube money. You know, my first $2,000 worth of YouTube money I pretty much spent on a new PC. But my recording setup now, so just to go through it, of actual recording stuff, I've got a Shure SM7B mic. This is like the staple microphone. You'll see a lot of people using this. It's really good for audio. I'm not sure how good it is for like singing and stuff like that, but any podcasts, you'll probably see this. YouTubers use this. But you have to remember that this is not a USB microphone. This is, I think it's called an XLR. I can't remember. I can't think right now, but it goes through a mixer. So it's not like you can just buy this type of mic and just plug it in a PC. I'd recommend starting out to get probably the Ice Snowball. It's what everybody generally starts out with. Or the Audio-Technica AT2020. That's what I started with after I had the headset, the microphone with the headset. Other than that, so my mixer that is both my headset gets plugged into it, because this is a powerful headset, and my mic gets plugged into it, is a Scarlett something, a Scarlett 2i2. It does the job. It's not the best mixer out there. I am thinking of upgrading my mixer eventually, that I could do some funny audio things with it here and there. Other than that, my PC, again, the PC specs I believe I've got on the About tab on the channel. Very quick rundown of my PC. It's got a NVIDIA RTX 2080 Ti. It's got 32GB of RAM. It's got an i9-9900K. It's stupidly overkill. This is one of the most powerful gaming PCs you can have on the market right now. You don't need this. I don't need this. I probably won't need this in 2 or 3 years, but I got it anyway. Again, business expense is why I got that. Why pay the tax man all that money when I could just claim it on the PC, and then I get a crazy good PC anyway, so hey. And then everything else is pretty much standard. There's nothing crazy that you need to know. Audio, well, software, OBS. My editing suite is Adobe. That's Photoshop and Premiere Pro. And yeah, it's pretty simple. Nothing crazy. Next one is one of my favorite games besides League. It's a hard one because I do play a lot of games, but I play them off stream in my own time because I do think it's healthy for a YouTuber stream or whatever to have, you know, our hobbies is gaming, and if everything that you do is shared with the internet, then you have no you time for your hobby. So I do play a lot of games off content. My most favorite game other than League is actually one that I'm not playing it right now, and that is World of Warcraft. My guild fell apart, unfortunately, a few months ago, and once a guild falls apart in the middle of an expansion, it's very hard to continue. If, like, there were maybe 8 of us that wanted to continue, how are you going to find 8 slots in a new guild, or do you recruit new people? It just is pretty difficult. So I might try to go back to World of Warcraft when another expansion comes out, but right now I'm not playing any. My other favourite game is GT Sport on the PS4. I love that game. I'd probably play it a lot if it was on PC. It's just a hassle going on PS4 every now and then. But yeah. Alright, next one is, do I think Gangplank can be can be a good climbing tool and blind pick once mastered? Why or why not? So I will say I'd be careful with using the term mastered. I'm a firm believer that pretty much no one has mastered their champion. Even if you're crazy good challenger, one trick, that person is still learning. That person is learning new matchups. The buffs and nerfs comes in, it changes everything. So I'd be very careful with using the term mastered, because I don't think anyone has. And if, again, we have come across it before. What do you mean? I'm Mastery 7. That means I've mastered the champion. No. Mastery means completely sod all of how good you are at a champion. You know, if it's a system that you can gain in normal games, there's no direct correlation of how good you are with Mastery. Because you only can go up with Mastery. But Gangplank as a champion, yes, he's great. I stopped playing him because he is difficult to pull off in some matchups, and there's just easier things to play and easier to pull off. But if you are set on playing Gangplank, yeah, he's great. There are examples of people being challenger all the time with Gangplank. The thing is, and you know, you said, is he a good blind pick and everything? He's practically a blind pick in every matchup you're playing because he has very few winning matchups anyway. So it really doesn't matter if you're blind picking him or not, because you probably won't be in a winning matchup. But yeah, Gangplank's good. He can solo carry the late game if you're good with barrel placement. And he's one of those types of champions from the outside. He doesn't look that hard, but when you play him, he's difficult. He's hard to pull off. But yeah. Next question is, in all of League of Legends history, what was the greatest decision that was made by Riot for the game, and what was the worst? Again, just to remind people, I don't prepare these answers at all. I'm reading these questions literally as I'm answering them. So I'm sure I'd be able to come up with better answers if I did prepare, but I don't. That's the point of these Q&As. The greatest decision of all time made by Riot? I think, honestly, when they released the game, if that counts. They released the game a couple years before Dota 2 released. And I think Dota 2 was announced for a while. And Riot hit the sweet spot in 2009, 2010. There wasn't a fresh MOBA. You had Hon that was released, you know, quite a while ago. You had Dota, the original. There wasn't like a fresh one, and that's where League of Legends kind of grew in crazy popularity because it was a fresh MOBA in like 2009, and it just blew up from there. And by the time Dota 2 came out in like I think 2011, I want to say, it was too late. League took over and had the MOBA genre set down. Put it in perspective, I think the peak amount of players that Dota 2 has ever had online at any one time has roughly been 2 million. Last time I checked, League of Legends has had well over 40 million people online at any one time. And that was years ago when Riot released that data. So League is very big. And I've heard through the grapevine with TFT, the current player base of how many people are online at any one time has gone up considerably since TFT. If you're counting that to actual League of Legends numbers, which the stockholders and stuff at Riot will be counting because it's in the League of Legends client, yeah, League's growing big time. Next one is, just curious, if you find a better game to play and stream than League, would you leave League for it? I doubt it. My audience is League. I love League. It is my favorite game. And while I have many frustrations with League that, you know, isn't necessarily about the game, it's the community, it's the toxicity, it's the balanced team. Not the balanced team, because the balance is actually okay right now. The ranked team that seems to have just kind of abandoned the season. I have problems there, but the actual game I love, I adore. Like, when I've had a pretty poop day, sometimes the feeling is, oh, let me have a nice game of League. So, I don't know. I don't think I would, if I'm honest. And it would be very hard for me to find a better game than League. All right, next one is what would I say is a reasonable milestone for a first rank season? Honestly, I think this has potentially changed throughout the years because obviously this year we've had Iron introduced, which is another new rank. So if you're used to be a bronze, I think Iron is now what bronze 5 and 4 used to be. That is now the whole of Iron. Bronze now was bronze 3 to 1 and stuff like that. So before this season, I'd say if you hit high bronze, you're probably okay. Slightly below average here or there, maybe below silver, you know. And then for this season, so yeah, if you get, because Iron is now introduced, if you get low silver, I think that is pretty damn good. You'll be in the average ranks. And if you get average ranks in your first ever season, I think that's pretty good going. Again, to perspective, people look up to PewDiePie or someone like that who's challenger. You have to remember the first season that PewDiePie played ranked, he was hard stuck bronze. He has spoken about that many times before, that he was hard stuck bronze, he didn't take the game seriously, he didn't know what was going on. And then in season, I think 2 or 3, whenever he like started to try to play the game, he just went woof, like stupid up. Like again, it's a better example. His story is a better example of mine. He went from bronze to basically pro. I went from silver in season 2 to diamond 1 in season 3. So a big jump, but not as big as PewDiePie. So yeah, if you're bronze right now or whatever, you can be diamond if you've got it in you. But yeah, silver I'd say is great for your first season. Next one is, what do I think is a good amount of champions for a champion pool to climb in solo queue? So, champion pool, I'd say you should be minimum in solo queue be playing 2 roles as your main. I don't think it's a good idea to have one main role anymore. Because it does seem, or it's crazy apparent how often you get your main role, second role, whatever. It might just be me that obviously top lane is my main second role, and there's not many top laners, so I always get top, even if I queue up as mid as my primary. But I'd say it's a good idea to main 2 roles, because just in case you get the second role. As for champion pool, I'd say minimum 3 champions per role, and those champions, by the way, are changing. I think it's a bad idea to play the same champions the whole way through a season, because the game is changing, and so should your champion pool. And also, you should have at least 1 pick for every role. You should have a support that you can fall back onto. If you get autofilled, you should have a jungler that you can fall onto. Unless you're just going to be in that type of person that's like, I am dodging if I get autofilled. Which is fair enough. If that's you, that's fine. But you should be prepared for anything if you're not going to dodge. But yeah, 3 minimum, 4 probably. And yeah, forever changing champion pools, changing with the game. Next one is, what am I looking for in a new champion release? I'm actually looking for no new champions, if I'm honest. I think League has enough champions now. We're about 145, give or take a few. That's too many. It's honestly probably like 130 is too many, let alone 145. What I'm personally looking forward to or wanting in new releases is just give me reworks. I really do hope that 2020, which is not that far away, we're in the second half of the year of 19 right now. I hope Riot comes out and goes, there are no new champions this year. We're just doing reworks. You're going to get like 10 reworks this year and just work through the back catalogue of all the old champions. I think that would be a lot healthier because a lot of people complain about balance all the time. Do you blame Riot for sometimes having bad balance? How the hell do you balance 145 champions? That's insane. Like, if just a couple champions, which usually happens, gets through the little woodwork of being overpowered, it's not surprising, because how are they going to be focusing on every aspect of every single champion in every bit? You know, a buff, a nerf, item changes, rune changes. It's just insane. So, reworks is what I'd want. Alright, next up is, do I think there are too many comeback mechanics in the game compared to the old days? And is that a good or bad thing? I see what you mean, because there are comeback mechanics. Bounties is a comeback mechanic, for example. There's a couple here or there. The weird thing is, there are more comeback mechanics in the game right now than there's pretty much ever been, but my games are more stomp victories or losses right now than it's ever been. That's what it feels like. It generally feels like the game is over by 5 to 7 minutes. You know who's pretty much going to win. If one bot lane's feeding, one jungler did a bad invade, it's very hard to pull that back, it feels at the moment. So yes, there are comeback mechanics, but I don't really see them working that much. I don't remember, if I'm honest, a victory that I've had, and again, it could be just the heat that I'm not thinking straight, but maybe there's a video out there that I've done recently and people go, no, you had that one. But I can't remember a game that we completely got stomped in the early game and we came back and won it. Like, obviously, there's been games that I've lost the early game, but not stomped in the early game. And obviously, that is where a comeback mechanic is questionable. But, yeah, it just kind of feels like stomps are just the thing at the moment. What do I think should be done for ranked to be less stressful and more enjoyable? So I've been speaking about this on stream to people of why people have been enjoying TFT ranked. A lot of it seems to be stemming from no promos. Promotion series I think are an unnecessary hassle. I do think they could keep an aspect of promotion series, but not all of it. So right now, if you're Gold 4, you want to get to Gold 3, and you haven't got crazy MMR, promotion series. You now get Gold 3, you want to go to Gold 2, promotion series. It's a bit tedious. I would say, because TFT, it's a lot less stressful in the whole game as well, but give us no promotions in between, I think it's called the divisions, but give us a promotion when you're jumping up a tier. For example, if you're in gold and if with this new change, what I would like, you're Gold 4, you want to go Gold 3, as soon as you hit 100 LP, you're gold, you get promoted. No promotion series. But if you're gold and you're going to go to platinum, then you have a promotion series. I think that would just help a lot more, because, yeah, it sucks. You know, the Smurf recently was on 99 LP. If I won the next game, that basically means I only gained 1 LP for that victory. That's annoying, right? What really it should do is just carry over the LP. So you're on 99, next game you win 20 LP, you'll just get promoted, and then you're on 19 LP in the next tier. Way healthier, way less stressful. And the other thing I'd say is, I've always said it, but it's probably never going to happen, is punish toxic people more. You guys can let me know in the comments, but there are countless people that I've spoken to, even recently, you know, hey, why are you playing TFT over League? Toxicity. I just hate it. And there is a nice feature now that you can just mute the team chat instantly. But again, it's a bit counterintuitive that you're having to mute all your teammates for it to have a good experience in a multiplayer game where communication is a good thing. It's sad, and it just kind of does seem that Riot doesn't care as much as maybe the community does, and it's a bit of a bummer. So, yeah. Next one is worst champion in the game. I won't answer the question. You guys can answer that for me in the comment section. Hey Huzzy, if Summoner's Rift 5v5 became massively overtaken by TFT in popularity, do you think you'll make the channel TFT focused? My gut feeling is probably no, but I'm not an idiot, so I will listen to the audience. And the way that you listen to the audience is you look at the views and the likes and stuff like that. So if right now my TFT content that we're doing occasionally, it's not outperforming, League content, but if it started to, then, you know, that's where you kind of start to think. I haven't been one of these YouTubers that jumped in the deep end on TFT, like Scara and stuff like that, because, again, that's a high risk. If it didn't work, then they would have sacrificed quite a bit, but it did work for them, and that's fantastic. But I'm not massively into risk. I like what I do right now. I'm comfortable where I am. It is summer right now, so views are a bit down, but that is fine. It's always going to be the way. You know, when it's 38 degrees or whatever here in Britain, I think the last thing people want to be doing is sitting inside watching videos. And here I am recording a video, but yeah, like it's completely fine. But yeah, I'd listen to the viewership, really. This is probably weird, but why? But do you use a website or something to get the replays of challenger players when you do your commentary? No, they are in the client of League of Legends. So what I do is there's two ways I do it. So you in the rank tab, you can go on top solo queue players, and then you have all the list of the top solo queue players. I just right click view profile, look what they've been playing recently. If there's a game that catches my interest, you can download the replay literally on the client and play the replay on the client. That's the general way that I find stuff. If there is a specific champion that I'm like, oh, I want to find an Elise player or something, then I'll go, and again, this isn't sponsored or anything, I'll go on the website League of Graphs, and they have a feature on there, the top players of that champion, and then I'll find one on EU West, I'll look up their profile, find a game, and download it that way. So, yeah, it's pretty much all on the League client, though. Alright, next up is just someone saying, do I think TFT would become a permanent game mode? It already is, trust me. Already is a permanent game mode. Right, next one. Do I think TFT's popularity could ever outshine League's? I doubt it. I know the Asian markets aren't as big into that as League. They're still big into it, trust me, but League is still very dominant. And League is still dominant where we all are. It's just a new game mode that's got a lot of hype, and for more casual, which, let's be honest, it's not an offensive thing that I'm saying to you guys here, but a lot of you guys that are watching this are going to be casual players and you have casual friend groups, etc. TFT is really nice for a casual play group. It's a casual environment, even in ranked. It's very easy to climb in TFT, so it's not surprising that the more casual base is going to jump over for now. But TFT does feel a little bit repetitive, even to me. I've played about 30 games of ranked in TFT. It is starting to feel a little bit repetitive. Mainly, it's not due to the game, it's mainly due to the balance. And Riot is trying to fix that, but when 3 people are doing a volley bear comp every game, 3 people are doing assassin comp every game, it just gets a bit repetitive. So if that gets fixed, then I think it'll be fine. But yeah, I don't think it'll ever outshine League. There was another question, do I think TFT will become its own esport? I think there's a definite possibility. You know, there was Twitch Rivals. I don't know how popular it is. If I'm honest, I didn't tune in. I don't know what I was doing at the time. But yeah, like, I'm sure it will. But will be in, like, again, viewership on Twitch Rivals was not as big as it was when they did Twitch Rivals League. So, yeah. It might be a bit too slow-paced to be a good esport, but I think it will still have an esports scene. Next one. I'll answer maybe. What's the time? Okay. I generally go for about half an hour, but again, we might be at the halfway mark right now. And I will say, if there's TFT gameplay on the screen, when that TFT game is over, if my Q&A is still going, then the camera will just go full screen at that point. Have I ever considered casting? Probably a color caster, part-time like Dan or Foxdrop does. Yeah, Fox is a good friend of mine. I've thought about it, and yeah, what would I be? So color or play-by-play. So if you don't know the difference, because I know some people don't, play-by-play is you're describing what's happening on the screen right now. They're generally the guys that don't know much about the game, but they can just say what they're seeing. Quickshot is one of those. Rivington is one of those. And generally, you don't have to be a great League player to be a play-by-play caster, because you're just describing what you see. Color is basically, think of a drawing, and you've got the outlines. Color is filling in the color, filling in the lines. It's describing and explaining what's going on. In my commentary, the style I'm both. I'm doing both jobs at the same time. But when you become a professional caster, you specialize. Some casters can do both, and they swap depending who their caster duo is. If I were to become a caster, yeah, color is probably where I would go, but I'd love to do play-by-play occasionally. I love commentating big team fights. I think you guys can tell when I do my spectate episodes. When a big team fight pops off, I get quite hyped about it. I've thought about it recently, when I've been doing the commentaries, the occasional comment that I see is like, hey, you really should go do casting. I have been offered to go casting several times, but I've never taken up the opportunity. There is a way that I could do it if I really wanted to push for it, but I just don't know if it's worth it right now. What I mean by that is my time is very busy. Just to say, this weekend I was supposed to be going on a weekend trip, and I had to cancel it because I didn't get enough content done due to how bad the games have been recently. So it's a bit of a feels bad, man, that I've had to cancel a trip because of that. And then, pile on casting on top of the YouTube and streaming stuff. I just don't think I'd have the time. And obviously, if you look at Fox's channel, again, great friend of mine, known him for years, but he has sacrificed a lot in his YouTube channel to become a caster. He used to upload daily. He now may upload once a week. I'm not prepared to do that at all. I vaguely know, because obviously I know some of the casters. I know how much they make. I make more on my YouTube channel. So right now, it's not worth me doing. But if the YouTube channel ever took a big hit for whatever reason, then yeah, I've got an opportunity to do it here or there. I'd probably start with small UK things, like everyone does. You start local, and then build my way up, and who knows. But I'd like to. And again, one thing that I've always wanted to try and get my hands on is pro games, but the raw replay file. I haven't asked since I've been a league partner, so maybe I should do that. But I'd love LEC games if I can get the replay files of them and I do my own commentary over them. Or with Worlds coming up, I might ask, can I co-stream it? And I can mute the file and I can commentate it myself. But obviously the bummer situation of that is then you don't have game audio. But it's something that we might do, and it could be fun. All right, so do I like cheese? I do like cheese. My favourite type of cheese. Halloumi's pretty good. Mozzarella's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Would I ever do a series called Troll Building to Diamond? No. I believe of being a generally good example to the viewer base that is watching. And if I do that, then that might entice other people to do it. And they might not be able to pull it off. So no. Have I ever considered coaching for myself? Like get a coach? We all look to others as mentors for improving. Many of us look to my Smurfing series to emulate gameplay, my gameplay. So you wonder if I do this as well. I have thought about it, but the problem is finding a coach that you trust. So the reason why I think people generally like what I do is I'm very general. I'm not specialist. That is rare as a coach in League. Generally, people specialize. You know, that guy is a top lane, that guy is a mid, that guy is a one-trick Annie coach, or whatever it may be. I would need a general coach, and there is not many of them around that I would want myself. The only person, and again, remember, I don't prepare these answers, but the only person that I would, off the top of my head, been like, yeah, maybe, would probably be Wicked, but I don't think he plays League anymore. I think he's just going to go play a TFT. But yeah, I've played against Wicked in solo queue. I've played against him in Twitch Rivals. He's an ex-pro, ex-Worlds player. Probably him, because he was more specialized about winning lane, and that is probably what I need to improve in the most. I'm very comfortable at team fights. I'm very comfortable with decision making. I need to get better at lane phase, and Wicked probably could help me there. But other than him, I really don't think there's any coaches out there that I would even want off the top of my head. Next up is how come you did not consider the A5 Sportback when deciding on a new car? It should be a couple £1,000 more expensive, but it is a class above. So again, if people don't know, I bought a new car. It's estimated delivery at the beginning of September. And yeah, hopefully it's there, which is like 5 weeks away, and I've heard nothing. I have not heard that, oh, it's got its build slot. I've heard nothing. So I'm a little bit nervous, but obviously I bought it already, so it will be coming eventually. But why didn't I consider an A5 Sportback? Audi A5, that is. It's a nice car, but it's too big. I don't need a massive car. When I was looking for a new car, right now I've got a 2 Series Sport Coupe. That's a bit small for me, so I was looking something just a little bit bigger. And the CLA that I've ordered is literally perfect size for me. And in that kind of size bracket, to me, it's the best car of that size bracket. Of a small 4-door sports coupe car. I think it's the best I think it's class leading. I don't need an A5 Sportback, and I have fully loaded this CLA. So even though like an A5, yes, might be more expensive, the equipment that I'm getting on my new Mercedes is going to be absolutely insane. And if you guys want to follow my journey when I get the new car, make sure you subscribe to the second channel. I will be doing a video of the new car, probably several. Right now I'm thinking of doing a kind of like overview of the car, that we go into the car, show you it, show you the infotainment system and stuff, and then we'll do another video of me driving the car. I do have a GoPro mount already that I'll be able to wear and have it like in the driver's perspective. But yeah, so the basic question is, it's the CLA 250 that I've ordered is what I wanted. It's the size of what I need. A5 Sportback is too big for what I want. Maybe in the future when I need that, again, predominantly 99% of the time, it's just me in the car. A5 Sportback would be something that if I have a family or something down the line. But it's a lovely car. Someone saying is, how am I doing considering my health? It's a lot better. So my health update, I'm down a roughly 10 pounds since I began losing weight a few weeks ago again. Obviously, some of that might be water weight, but I am drinking a hell of a lot, so probably not much. But yeah, I'm doing good. My throwing up issue has near enough gone away. I still do feel a bit queasy every now and then due to the medication. It is quite powerful. But that is a lot better than what I used to deal with. So a lot better. Thank you very much for asking. Everything I'd say in my life is going pretty good right now. The only issue is the recording has The recording recently, with how the game quality has been, has definitely put a strain on me feeling a bit ugh, but I think I've dealt with it better this time than I would have before. You know, if I had the throwing up issue and then dealt with 4 streams in a row with making no videos, I think I would have probably boiled over a bit much, or too much. You know, and yes, I am disappointed that I had to cancel a trip, but I'm okay. So yeah. Next one, and then after this one, we'll probably go and just answer the couple on my phone. Is it harder to climb in duo with a friend because of matchmaking or whatever, or is this a myth? It is way easier to climb with a duo. So it's been proven multiple times that climbing with a duo is the easier way, and that is also why, and I'm not meaning any offense, it depends how you want to play the game. If you're playing League for fun, duo all you want, that is completely fine. If you're duoing to be if you're playing League to be known as a decent player, you'll never duo. There has been time and time again that people have achieved a rank and then their whole achievement has been basically taken away from them when people went, but you duoed like every game. And it's not good. You know, it's a lot of people want solo queue, not duo queue. But yeah, if you watch any Reddit AMA, I think there was one not too long ago. There was a girl support player that was fantastic. Great girl support player. She used to duo all the time. She used to get master or challenger or something. And then one of the questions was, why did you stop duoing? Because that part of her AMA was she did it solo this time. And people were like, you know, what's the difference? And she herself said, no one took me seriously when I duoed. And it's not just because she was a female or anything. That is literally just the mindset of high rating. If you have duoed to get here, we don't take you seriously. It's about solo climbing. And she said she got a lot more respect. People took her more seriously once she got there without duoing. I think Red Mercy has also had that kind of issue before, that, you know, he's got to high rating, but a lot of his games are duo. Panzer Dragons had the same thing. People don't take Panzer seriously because he duos nearly every game. It's just that culture. So if you care about LP, duo away. If you don't care what others think, duo away. But if you are in that mindset of, I do want people to respect my climb, then people will basically never duo. It's so much easier. And you go, why is it easier? So the matchmaking thing, that actually went away in Season 6. A lot of people don't realize that. So before Season 6, your MMR used to be inflated when you duo. That no longer happens. Why does that no longer happen? Because dynamic queue took over as the main queue, and they wanted to make people duo and trio and four, whatever. And they didn't revert that specific change when they got rid of dynamic queue. So the MMR bump has gone. That's been gone for 3 years. And you have synergy. You can pick champions that do well together. If you're not toxic as a duo and you're not going to leave, then you're guaranteeing a new teammate or another teammate that's not going to leave. You should be on communication when you're duoing, so you've got comms versus people that don't. So there's so many advantages to duo. But yeah, the matchmaking bump that people go, oh, it's harder because the MMR. Again, that hasn't been in the game for 3 years. So yeah. But a lot easier to climb is duoing. All right, next one. Let me just get my phone ready. I saved them in my notes. All right, next one is, what do I think of people with disabilities that playing League? So I picked this one out because it's not spoken about much, and it should be. So occasionally on Reddit, you see a person, and again, a lot of my things on Reddit, you see a person that does an AMA or something that like got to a certain rating with this certain disability, and honestly, it's amazing. Again, it's something that I think should be spoken more about, and it's incredible. There's a guy, I think that is Diamond, that plays with his feet. And me and my friends have had a laugh about it, man, because, you know, that's incredible, and it's incredibly inspiring and motivating. And one of my friends was just like, I'm in silver and I've got 2 working hands. What the hell is my excuse? And I was like, yeah, it's amazing, right? And it's just how humans adapt. And if you are somebody that has a disability of any nature, you inspire me and you inspire others, and honestly, keep doing it. It's great. And one of the best things that I have seen of recent, a lot of people would like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I presume. Big fan of his movies, personality, obviously larger than life. I'm not sure if anybody else follows his strongman competitions at all. I somewhat do. My personal trainer is actually a strongman himself, UK strongest man in his weight division. Anyway, there's a Arnie strongman competition a few months ago, and there's a disability section. Arnold is next to a guy with one of the motor neuron diseases, lifting a weight, And it's so cool. And the guy lifted the weight, and Arnie's right next to him. Come on, do it. You can do it. Come on. And he lifts it, and everyone's smile. It just lights up. So yeah, honestly, if you are someone with a disability, we are with you. Again, keep doing it. And yeah, you inspire other people. So keep doing it. And what I will say is a slight tangent to that as well. I have had a few messages over the last, I don't know, couple years, and I'm saying not many, but when it comes to mental health with League, it's a delicate thing that you need to discuss, obviously. And I've sometimes people said, oh, maybe sometimes Huz, you word things a little bit too harshly. And I will say I potentially do. Sometimes I have said things like, if someone's really toxic on my team, or maybe that person has mental health issues. And what I mean by that, by the way, it's never been an offensive thing. I've never meant it as an offensive thing. I've meant it as, okay, maybe I'm not going to bite back at that guy because maybe the dude has something wrong with him and that's why he's acting out. But it is something that I'm trying not to say because I know it's a delicate line at the moment. But what I would say, again, I'm a very person that reads scientific journals. If you are somebody that is struggling mentally and you lash out at people at League and you do know that, seek help. Again, it's nothing to be ashamed of. And what I will say, me and my family went through something earlier this year that opened my eyes completely to mental health. I was ignorant of mental health for most of my life. I've never had mental issues. I've never really been around people with mental issues. And I think that's the thing with mental health, that when you haven't experienced it, it's hard to think it's real. Something earlier in the year, many people may remember, my sister was off work for roughly 6 months. Going to hospital every week. Couldn't find the problem. After a few months, she finally got diagnosed with stress and anxiety. And she fought it, thinking, I'm not anxious, I'm not stressed. But sometimes the chemicals in your brain just react. And it incredibly opened my eyes to that world of you just can't help it. Even myself, personal experience of throwing up every day. That took a toll on my mental health that I did not even think. My mood over the last few years deteriorated dramatically. I was unhappy. I hated sometimes recording, which some people might be able to tell. And the fact that I'm not throwing up every day at the moment, it feels like a mountain has been lifted off me mentally. So again, sorry for this small tangent here at the end, but I think it is important to talk about every now and then. So yeah, make sure you're doing good. And again, I am around if people want to send messages. I'm not a doctor or anything, but I do receive a couple. And my first always port of call is obviously seek out a professional or somebody who is senior to you. If you're in school and you're struggling, your teachers, a counsellor in school, your parents if you can. Because yeah, going in League and being toxic is not the answer to your problems. And that is the message that I try and preach. But sometimes I may say it the wrong way. And if I have said it the wrong way and sometimes people have taken it, badly, I apologize. But yeah, everyone's fighting together. We're all in the world. We're all trying to make it, and we're just trying to have the best time possible. That's the thing. So anyway, that's going to be it. We're going to leave it there. I did have a couple more on my phone, but it's nearly 40 minutes on this video. It's still quite warm in my room. So I'm going to go. I might dunk my head in a bath or something. Not a bath, but a sink with just cold water. But yeah, have a great day. Let me know how it's going for you guys right now. Hopefully the heat isn't treating you too badly. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, I am jealous of you in winter right now. Anyway, that's going to be it. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Feel free to ask more questions down there. I will be in the comment section. And I'll see you guys next time. See ya.